Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today is the What Would You Make challenge. I love this challenge, so with all of that, let's just jump right in to the video.
Okay, DIY number 1. So I have these 8x12 wood planks. I bought them at the beginning of the year or end of last year. I don't remember if it's from Amazon, Temu, 20 or Woodpecker Crafts somewhere, but I'm connecting them together with my jumbo craft sticks, wood glue and hot glue, and then I'm going to paint the whole thing with Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. Once it was dry, I bought these last year from Amazon. I believe they were wall decor or wall clings. I don't know what you call them. Anyways, I don't like to have the excess plastic, so I try to trim all around the picture as best as I could, just to remove as much of that plastic cling as possible. I feel like it gives a better high-end look that way. Then I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to go over my board. Now you might want to do not so much, just do a little bit at a time so it doesn't dry, but I'm going to add my clings here. Now the reason why I do the Mod Podge is because these clings are supposed to be removable, and we don't want this to be removable. So that's why I add the Mod Podge to it, just to give that extra layer of adhesive. And then I'm going to add another one. There was 2 big birds. These things are huge, you guys. And then I did use my Cricut to create this Merry Christmas saying with some vinyl. I didn't stencil this time. I actually used regular permanent vinyl from I don't remember if this is the Hobby Lobby brand or Oracle. It's one of those. Then I took some greenery pieces. Now these came from the candle wreaths that I love to buy from Hobby Lobby after Christmas when they're like 75% off, and I'm going to glue them on. I decided to do 2 layers because I wanted it to be really full and bushy. I didn't want just a small amount. Then I'm going to take some small pine cones. Now I believe these came from those little packages from a Dollar Tree that they had long ago, but I also have in the past ordered some really small ones from Amazon, and I love those really small ones. And then I'm going to take a bigger one that came from a table scatter pack that I got from Amazon, and the same with these little green pieces. I think they came from that pack as well. No, I'm wrong. They did come from Amazon in their own pack. The other ones were frosted, but I added those as well. And then I was going to make some hanger holes with my Big Mouth Crocodile, but because of the craft stick, it was making it hard. And I thought, wait a minute, I don't want to do this. I want to do a staple. So I'll show you in a little bit what I did. So in the meantime, I took some of these garland ties from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue them around the picture. Now, if you can find the ones at Dollar Tree, you could absolutely use those. They are a little fuller. A lot of times I'll just cut them down a little bit so that they're not so bushy. But I just love the way this just outlines the picture. I think it gives it a little bit more something, if you know what I mean. So this is where I decided to take these paper poinsettias from Hobby Lobby and cover up that hole. And this one was kind of falling apart, so I'm just going to hot glue it together and then glue that one on the other side of the Merry Christmas as well. And I do end up, I think I show you this at the end, I do end up adding 2 more of those, one on each corner. But here I just took some of this red cording from Hobby Lobby. I cut it down to the size I wanted. I tied knots on the ends, and then I'm stapling it, making sure that I staple through the craft sticks. That way that it doesn't come through those boards. Then I took my Snow Tex, and I am just going to go over all of the greenery and the pine cones all over the bottom of my sign. And I did take some of that Snow Tex and just kind of went over the picture of the greenery just to give it some texture. And then this is where I'm gonna add those little poinsettias, and that's all there was. I just love how this came out. Those pictures were so big, I couldn't figure out what to do with them last year. But I hope you like this. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, today is the What Would You Make Challenge, and I host this on the fourth Sunday of every month with Christine from Divine Design. And of course, we make everything with wood. And this month's guest host is the very talented Chris with At Home with Chris. So make sure you check her channel out, show her some love, subscribe to her if you haven't already, and check out Christine and the playlist. I will have links to all three in my description box below. Okay, DIY number 2. So I'm going to take one of these wood hanging planks from Dollar Tree. Now these are the newer, smaller size. They're not 17 3/4. They're about 16. And I filled in the holes with my very dry spackle. And then I painted it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. Now a subscriber had sent me, her name's Martha, sent me these wood bulb ornaments, and so I'm going to paint 3 of them with my crimson, 2 of them with my antique green by Folk Art, 2 with Waverly Maze, and the other 2 with Waverly Ocean. Then I'm going to take my Decor metallic in the color Glorious Gold and paint those little letters that came from Hobby Lobby, and then the tops of my lights with that Glorious Gold color. Then I had this idea. I am going to make sure these are all even, and I'm going to tape them so that they stay even and stay together. I thought this was a great idea, but no, it it didn't work. And my husband, and I told him, he's like, "Oh, I could have told you that wasn't going to work if I would have been in here." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. That really helps me out." But I decided to drill a hole in the middle, thinking, okay, if I have them all taped and I go in the middle, then they'll all be in the middle. No, that's not what happens. See, I'm looking at going, wait, those, why? Oh my goodness. But anyways, and even the first one wasn't completely in the middle. I should have marked it. Anyways, I should have done them separately. So I took some Velcro. This came from Dollar Tree, and I have my lights all laid out. And the reason why I did the holes was because I wanted to add some fairy lights. And I am just going to add some Velcro onto my sign and then onto the back of my little lights here. And the reason why I did it this way is because in case I wanted to remove those lights or if we needed to replace them for any reason, I didn't want to have to tear the whole thing apart or throw it out. So I wanted to be able to fix it so that I could remove those lights if I needed to. So then I'm going to take little strips of masking tape, and I'm just going to glue these fairy lights to the back. Now these fairy lights came from Amazon. I love these because they have a timer, so when you turn them on, they're on for 6 hours and then they go off for 18 hours, and I just love that, so I don't have to worry about it. I can just make sure they have batteries and turn them on when I want them to come on every day at the same time. And so if you want, you could, there's a lot of lights on here, so it did make it a little difficult, but if you wanted to recreate this, you could always use like the little fairy lights that you get from Dollar Tree. That would work just fine as well. And you don't even have to drill holes. You could probably just wrap them around the tops, which is kind of what I thought about doing as well, but then I just did this. So I took my letters here, and I'm going to take my Type Bond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue, and I'm going to brush the glue on the back of each letter, and I'm going to glue them to the front of my little wood light bulbs here. And I don't know why I'm taking so long doing it. I think I was having a hard time. I'm using the brush because I don't want to have so much that it oozes out, so that's why I use the brush. Then I took those lights and I'm wrapping them around the garland ties, and I'm using some hot glue to glue the garland ties, but I'm making sure where I use that hot glue is where there's no wire for the lights. That way, if I need to take the lights out, I should be able to unwrap them. If not, this is hot glue, and I could just use my heat gun to release that hot glue and unwrap them. So I'm just going to go all the way around my sign with that garland tie. Then I took, I think there's five or six of these bigger tumbling tower blocks or Jenga blocks. These I get from Five Below, but if you look in the toy section, Dollar Tree now has their own. That's the size that is $3 for a box, and I think they're the same amount. I have to look. Anyways, once I had them glued together with my Type Bond glue and hot glue, I painted it with my ink color. Then I'm going to use my Type Bond glue and hot glue to glue this on for a stand in the back of my sign. Now for time purposes, that's why I use the hot glue. If you are not in a hurry, you could definitely use the Type Bond glue. Really, it sets within like 5 minutes. And that's how I would go. Anyways, I'm going to I'm going to take the rest of those lights and use a little bit of my masking tape to tape them to the back, just to hold them in place. And then I just left the little timer switch on the back, and there it is. I love how this came out. I think it is adorable. I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment box below.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm a lumberjack. This shirt, for some reason, makes me feel like a lumberjack, which is perfect for today, right? For the What Would You Make challenge. Lumberjack wood, right? Anyways, I love this challenge. Many of you guys know that I love this challenge because I love working with wood, and I do most of my stuff with wood. And I have to remind myself all the time when I'm not doing the What Would You Make challenge, don't use all the wood. Use some of the MDF stuff that I have around from Dollar Tree. And I'm really trying to get rid of some of those signs, and I just forget because I love working with wood and I just work with wood all the time. But anyways, you can always use the Dollar Tree items. I am partial to wood. Anyways, I love to take this moment to welcome anyone who is new here. My name is Brenda, and this is my Oliver, and we are really glad you stopped by here. And if you enjoy videos with home decor made with wood or made with non-wood, if you like home decor on a budget, I would love it if you'd hit that red subscribe button and become part of our YouTube family. And for those of you who've already done that, we appreciate you guys all so very much. And we are so glad that you stop by and watch all my videos whenever you do. It just means the world to us. So I'm going to quit chit-chatting, but I am going to remind you to make sure you subscribe, comment, like, hype, all that fun stuff. Share this video for anyone that you might think might enjoy it. So I am just going to quit my chit-chatting, and we are going to continue on with the video.
Okay, DIY number 3. So I took a 10-inch wood round that came, I think, from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to take one of my jumbo craft sticks. I'm going to cut the ends off. I also had those Dollar Tree rectangle wood pieces that come in 6-pack. I had one that was cut down. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to paint it white with the craft stick, and then the 10-inch wood round with my Dusk by Waverly. And I'm going to take one of these craft sticks from Dollar Tree. Craft kits. And I am going to take my box cutter, and I'm just going to cut that little piece off the snowman. That's the piece that goes into the little wood crate part that's in the kit so that it stands. I'm just going to cut that off, and it didn't take very much to cut it. And then I'm laying them where I think I want them, and then I'm going to use my pencil to kind of draw out a line, a curvy line, so that I can make it look like snow, like a snow mountain or snow hill. So I'm just going to go over that pencil line with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, and then I'm just going to paint the bottom part of that white. And I got this idea one day. I was looking on Pinterest, and I saw a painting of a snow globe, and I thought, I wonder if I could make my own snow globe sign with wood. And so I was really excited to give this a try. So I painted my snowman with my white, and I'm just going around the outlines of the scarf and the hat and all that stuff. I painted the hat black and the gloves black and the bird and the scarf red. You'll see the final piece here, and I did use some markers, paint markers, to color in his face and the buttons. And when I was all done, I took my folk art antique green folk art. I don't know why all of a sudden it sounds so weird. I'm going to paint the trees with that antique green, and then I'm going to use my Type Bond multi-surface glue here, and I'm going to glue it to the front of my sign right above the top hill part of my tree. That wasn't really as high as I was expecting the hill. Anyways, I'm going to do the same thing with the snowman, and I'm going to add these little snowflakes. I got these from Amazon. They're so cute. I'm just going to glue them on. If you don't have these, you could always just put little dots, white dots, to make it look like snow, or use the snow stickers. There's like little snowflake stickers from Dollar Tree that they have. They're kind of big, so you wouldn't want to put too many on, but yeah, just make it your own if you want to create this. Then I'm going to take that little part of a rectangle piece and I traced out where I want to lay it. So that way I know exactly where to put my Titebond glue, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of hot glue. Of course, the Titebond is permanent hold and the hot glue is for immediate hold. And I'm going to glue that to the back of my wood round, and then I'm going to I did the same thing with my pencil and my Titebond glue on the front, and I'm going to use hot glue as well, and I'm going to add my craft stick right in the front so that way it gives it that snow globe look. Then I took a white Chanel stem from Hobby Lobby and one of the tinsel stems from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap them together. And I just wanted something a little shiny for this, and so then I wrapped a couple of those together, strips together. So I think I had to do 3 of these. It was either 2 or 3, I don't remember. But I'm going to hot glue it all the way around my wood round sign here, my little snow globe here. And I think this gives it a great look because it makes it look kind of like, a covering or the edging of this part you look through. So I went over the top part there, and then I took my letters. Again, I got these from Hobby Lobby, and I put them on painter's tape to hold them in place, and then I just paint them with my Dusk color by Waverly. Then I have it's called Extreme Glitter by Folk Art, and it's in the color silver, and it's a translucent silvery acrylic paint, and I put it over my letters just to give it some shine. I love it. I wish I would have done that before I added all my pieces to the back, to the sign itself. I think it would have looked great. But then I'm just going to use my Titebond glue here again, and I'm just going to glue those letters onto the bottom part of my snow globe. And then I'm going to take some twine, I fold it in half, take the 2 ends and tie a knot in it, and then I'm going to thread that folded part through the back into the front of my sign, and then I'm going to take the folded part and put it in between the tied part and then pull and then bring that knot to the back. And then I'm just going to take some puff paint here. I'm going to go all over the bottom of my trees with it, and then I'm going to go on the top of my trees with it. I thought about making a few little dots around the snowflakes, but I didn't. And I'm going to add some onto the hat as well, and that's all there is for this. I love how this came out. I think it is so adorable and so fun, although my mom said it needed more glitter on the trees. My mom and my husband, they both love glitter. Okay, it is a time for celebration of your recreations. And we have Marie. I love these. I love your deer picture that lights up, and those stars are amazing, Marie. Thank you so much for sharing these. And then we have Debbie made some, I love her what is that? Wood shim scarecrow, so cute. And your tree with the wood shims and that pumpkin, adorable. And then Tracy, I love all her tumbling tower block trees that she made. They are amazing. Thank you so much, Tracy. And thank you, ladies, for sharing these. And if you have something that you have created that you would like me to showcase for you, there's my email address right there. You can send me pictures to, or you can also send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, DIY number 4. I am going to take one of Dollar Tree's wood trees. I'm going to paint one side with my vintage green and the other side with my snow white. Like how those bottles keep moving. I think it's the fan. I don't know. This is my ceiling fan. Anyways, it was funny. Once they were dry, I took the white side and I'm just going to coat it with some Mod Podge. I'm going to wipe it all in and I'm going to let it dry. Then I took this napkin. I think I got this napkin last year from Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure it's from Dollar Tree. It was either last year or the year before. I can't keep track. Anyways, I'm just going to lay it all out over my tree. And I'm going to try and smooth out those wrinkles in the middle of it. And then I'm going to cover it with my parchment paper to protect that napkin. And I'm going to go over it with my heat press. And that reactivates that Mod Podge so that the napkin sticks to the tree. And once I had it all done and I went over the whole thing. I'm just making sure that I get all the edges because that's really important. I went and just kind of trimmed off the excess with my scissors. And then I'm going to go over it with my Mod Podge, just making sure I go over the part that's connected to the wood. And I let that dry. And once it was dry, I took my lighter. And I love this part because it just burns that napkin right up to the line of the Mod Podge. And then it stops. And look, I almost got my hand there at the bottom. I had to turn it real quick. I'm like, yikes, it was going on both ends. But then one end died and I'm like, oh, good, that's a little more manageable. So if you are afraid of working with fire, then yeah, don't do this. But if, just have some water on hand. I've never had it go uncontrollable. And I've been doing this for a few years. So I like doing this because it gets into all the nooks and crannies. It makes it a lot easier. Then I just take my little finger sander and just sand off some of those scorched areas, just to make a really nice clean finish. Then I have this word from Hobby Lobby. It's in the table section. They call it table decor or something. I painted it black and I wish I would have maybe painted it gold. I don't know. I'm not happy with this part of this tree, but once it was dry, I took and I glued it onto the front of my tree with my Titebond. And I wanted to use black because I wanted to stick out because of all the red and white. But then I went over the top part with my puff paint of the letters. And I kind of think it makes it blend in too much with the napkin. I don't really like that part. But it is what it is. So then I took 2 of those larger tumbling tower blocks, painted them black. And I'm used my Titebond and hot glue to glue one of them in the back for a stand. And then I'm going to glue the other one in the front for a stand because I didn't just want them to be a stand. I also wanted to be able to glue some greenery to them. So that's why I'm doing this. So then I took some, these little pieces here, I think came from actually Dollar Tree. They had like a package of 6 of them. And they were in my stash. So I glued them on. These came from that table scatter that I got from Amazon, as well as the pine cone. And then the berries are, I can't remember. No, I don't think these came from in that package, but they do come with berries. Then I had some wood stars in my stash and I painted one with that gold. And that's why I'm like, I should have maybe made the word gold. I wasn't thinking ahead when I was doing this. And I added a little bit of snow on the top of that one as well, or I should say puff paint. And there it is. I really love the tree. I'm not happy with the word on there. But yeah, let me know what you think about this as well in the comment box below. And here is the final reveal. I had so much fun putting these together. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure before you go, you check out Chris and Christine's channels and the playlist. I'm sure you'll get all kinds of Christmas wood inspiration. And with all that, I'm probably going to have a video on Wednesday instead of Thursday this week, since Friday is the 1st. And oh my goodness, I'm excited for that one too. So with all of that, I hope you guys have a wonderful week and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.